Hi there. I hope you're having a wonderful time or evening or whatever time it is that you're watching this. I got my tarot cards read for the first time and it was scarily accurate, which is, I don't know what I was expecting. I guess, I don't know. It's easy to write it off if you're like, yeah, this isn't me, but I wasn't expecting to get called out, especially for the love portion of the reading. It was like, okay, we get it. You're good at what you do. And by you, I mean Delilah. Delilah is the one that gave me my reading. I actually graduated with them in high school, but I haven't seen them since, I don't know, it's been like almost 5 years, which is crazy that it's been that long since I graduated high school. But yeah, so it's not like they know anything about me. I don't know. They didn't know about my YouTube channel. I also wanted to let you guys know that Delilah put on like throat chakra music and noises and like high frequency sounds. So don't freak out if you hear that. I mean, you will hear that in the background. That's just kind of part of their process. And it was actually really cool to see Delilah's process with, like, I don't know, they put like prayers out into the world and like they had a bunch of stones and like I don't know I'm clearly very ignorant to like what everything was called, but nonetheless it was very, very cool, and you can tell that they took it very seriously, which is nice. If you are interested in a reading of your own, I will leave all of Delilah's information in the description box, so definitely go check them out. And last announcement, my friend Karen is actually the one that set this up because she is the mutual friend between us, and her and Delilah still talk. So I was like, hey, you said Delilah does tarot card readings. I think that'd be a cool YouTube video. So in the background, there's Karen. She's there for moral support, and she also got a reading of her own. Yeah, there's not just like a random person in the background. She has a purpose. Thank you, Karen. Okay, enjoy the video.
Before we get started, I have obviously a few different decks that you can choose from, but I believe that they're all pretty much the same exact thing. So tarot cards, they're usually 78, sometimes some decks will have like an extra card or two. These all tell the same story, but they have different styles, I guess is what you would say, like between the different decks. So based on your specific inquiry, there will be a deck or maybe two that will answer them more accurately or just give you the type of answer that you need. So before we get started, I will ask that you close your eyes. You take a nice deep breath in through your nose, and you hold it for a moment, and you let that out through your mouth. While you take your next, breath or two at your own pace, I want you to think about the question that you have, the thing that you want to know more about. You might have more than one, and it's totally fine. You can get to all of them, but the first one, the one that feels most important to you, that you want to get out of the way first, just focus on how that makes you feel. Generally, I like to ask that, I believe that everybody has their own, regardless of what your religious beliefs may be, or lack thereof, I think everybody has their own almost team of people or spirits that look out for them, guide them, and kind of take them down the path that needs to be explored. I think that all of our souls are here for a reason. We've all picked the certain life that we live to learn a certain lesson or to experience a certain thing. So, the people that are there to guide you, I just like to ask that they help me provide an accurate message for you, and whatever it is that you need to hear, that they just provide some assistance. So that's what that prayer really does. And I am ready for you whenever you are. Okay. Is there like a certain sphere of your life that like you're trying to get like some more info on, really?
Probably more like future related, as far as like career and maybe like mental state, and then
stuff kind of,
yeah, and then maybe just because I don't know, it's juicy to think about romance, so
yeah, no worries,
let's see romance as well.
For sure.
Yeah,
okay, we can do a cute little multi-theme spread here.
Yeah.
Okay,
cute or hot and heavy, if you know what I'm saying. Give them both.
But I get one card to represent the current state of Julia's career. What's up with Julia's work? This is one card. Is this upright or reverse? Mine is reverse for you. Okay, so we've got the Hermit in reverse for work right now. One card to represent any obstacles in Julia's romance of life. Okay, so it's not lack of opportunity, I'll tell you that.
She's good.
It is not that you don't have anybody trying to take you out. That is not at all the problem. It is you.
Good thing it's dim in here. You can see I'm blushing.
Can I get any advice for Julia's love life romance? Okay. All right.
Oh, the Lover's card. Look at that. Gemini energy.
Absolutely. Are you a Gemini?
I am a Gemini.
Oh my fucking god. What is up with you and Gemini besties? What's up with that?
Are you a Gemini as well?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, okay. Zoe's a Gemini.
Zoe though,
Okay.
yeah. Future, if Julia changes nothing, I assume that's it. Oh! Okay, we are ready.
I'm sweating for you. I know my hands are clammy.
We'll save the romance for the end because it's super juicy. I love that. All right, starting off with your career, work. We're doing, this is you currently is the first row.
Okay.
You have the Hermit in reverse. I think that currently you are trying to break out of your shell. You're trying to put yourself out there, network, and advertise anything that you have to, you're breaking out of yourself really. So if before you were in this state of like, I just really need to like perfect what I'm doing before I like share it with people, or before I allow people to like, you know, commission me for anything like that, now you're transitioning out of that stage. You've built confidence in yourself and in the things that you like, the things you're attracted to, that if before you were in a spot where you weren't really looking, you weren't or you like just didn't feel ready for that, you're now feeling more ready to find these things and put yourself in the way of them, or you know, run into these opportunities. Possible obstacles that you can have. We have the Ace of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, which is interesting. Upright or reverse for this bad boy? That is upright. Okay, so I know for sure with the Four of Pentacles there might be some part of you that is a little bit conservative, or just afraid, worried in some way of like when it comes to money. Either you look at it like it's something that like you need to like hold on to, it's like an insecure attachment with money, or you don't properly value the work that you provide, or like the services you provide, or whatever it is that like it's something with the value or like the value assigned to it, or the attachment you have with that.
Like imposter syndrome?
Yes, a little bit. If it has to do with like your ideas and the value of your ideas, then yes, it's more imposter syndrome. But I've also seen this in the sense of like just the way you view money and your attitude about it. But since this is specifically with work, and then we have this Ace of Cups here, the Ace of Cups usually does give me a bit of like maybe you don't feel the thing that brings you emotional fulfillment can provide for you. Maybe it's like this thing where like you're like, I don't know if my passion can be my job, and it can.
What the fuck? I think I was so like, I don't know, I was hearing what Delilah was saying, but to like, now that I've gotten some space from it, it's interesting to see like how accurate it is. And it's also kind of freeing, because it's like now like people know, like now it's like out in the open. And you know, I think like a lot of people struggle with imposter syndrome and just like thinking their dreams will just be dreams, and you know, that it'll never amount to anything, and even if it does, you're like, no, it's not real, and I don't deserve it, and all this stuff. So it was interesting like now that I have some space between it, and I'm like watching it like I'm watching myself as if it were like a movie or something, where I can like kind of take a step back and say like, holy shit, they really read you like a book.
I don't think that like the point of your life is to just, you know, make money and survive. I think that it is to find something you care about and to pursue that, and the right people will find you, and you will be taken care of, even if you're just pursuing your passions. You know, like the Knight of Cups is somebody that's like looking for a feeling. It's like, okay, what's gonna give me that spark? What's gonna, like, you know, where you're focusing on your emotional fulfillment. If you feel like you're focusing too much on, you know, like what you should be doing or what you have to do or what makes sense for you to do, maybe you should just more so focus on the experiences you're having and let your experiences guide you to where it is that you want to be. I think that if you do, because we have the Ace of Cups as your outcome. The Ace of Cups is just, or the Ace of Wands, yes. You will find your way one way or the other. Whether or not you choose to follow this advice of, you know, taking in your experiences and seeing where they lead you, you're going to end up where you need to be. Like, you will be okay at the end of the day. But this Ace of Wands is really an opportunity for you to, like, find something new that kind of, like, puts a kick in your step, and you, whether it's like a new ideas that you have, or you know, like new passion projects you pick up, or I just feel like this is like you'll be able to make something tangible with and actually like see the fruits of your labor with this kind of with this outcome. So I mean, either way you will be fine, but you know, if you want to get to where you want to be faster, that is what that advice column is for. It's like more of just like if you're trying to not, you know, take the long road. Does this make sense?
Yeah. I would say you're definitely, as far as like this is where I started, definitely the hermit of like being more reclusive. And I have noticed that, I think right now I'm trying to move more towards the energy of down here. Like even asking Carrie to reach out to you, and like I recently did, like my sister has a bunch of theater friends, and I had this idea of like, is it a death scene or a sex scene for like movies and TV shows? So like I put myself in an environment of like 15 strengers, and I don't know, like just having fun and trying not to overthink things. So I think that's definitely trying to go in that direction.
Yeah, I think that you could. It's really just, this is the obstacle, remember. So maybe the overthinking comes from the place of like people telling you that certain things are not productive or certain things are not sustainable. Sustainable, productive can all have completely different meanings to you. You know, like maybe this is like the ideas that you have about your passions or your, you know, the things that like get you, you know, excited, and things that you feel like, no, I could like really work with this. If you have any preconceived notions that weren't really yours and were more like placed upon you, that's still, whether or not it's something you consciously signed up for, it is still in your way. It is still something that needs to be dealt with. And so this is the only thing that's keeping you from this side of things. You know, it really is just a matter of perspective. You know, it's okay to feel a little insecure or unsure or anxious about things, but you know, when you let go, you can see what will happen. When you let go, it gives it a chance to become something instead of just an idea or a fear. We will move over to the self side of things. Okay, so the current state, you are compartmentalizing something. There is something going on here. You are not wanting to see a problem or not wanting to deal with something. The Seven of Wands is like, I don't want to see it. The Seven of Wands is, whatever that is, keep it away from me. So to have that for your current state, I don't know if this is how you feel like mentally, or like with your relationship, if you feel like the relationship with yourself is kind of stagnant, like where you're just kind of having trouble connecting there. That's what's coming out with the Seven of Wands. It's really just like, we're feeling like we're finding something. The Judgment card is usually like, there's something that is meant for you. You are being resurrected. Like the Judgment, if you're looking like there's an angel in the sky, or this person in the sky that's calling forth these people, these people that you're looking at a cemetery that are resurrecting to, so if you grew up Catholic or Christian at all, like the idea of Judgment Day, where like the dead rise, and you know, or in tarot sense, it's usually like there's a new chapter of your life. There's something, or there's just something that you're meant to do, you're meant to come across, that you might not feel that comfortable with or something, because the fact that it's in the obstacle, I don't know, I don't want to read your business like that, but that's just That's just the obstacle that I'm seeing
Wait,
there.
what? Is it like you want to say more, but it's...
No, like I don't want to claim anything. I'm just, what is this judgment thing that Julie is struggling with here? Ace of Pentacles, interesting. Just because the Ace of Pentacles is usually like the birth of the beginning of new ideas, new projects, new passions, something along those lines. Like I said, the Pentacles, it's like work, physical aspect of life, money, career, kind of. Because with your advice, as the Hanged One, that's something to do with your perspective. All of these guys, like, the Hanged One is usually someone, that's like where you put yourself in that position almost, like where you got yourself up this tree, and in this, you know, in this situation where you ended up hanging upside down, like you can get yourself out of it. You've written something off and been like, no, I don't need that, and maybe you do. Remain open to other perspectives, because that's usually where you find the solution to your problem, is when you look at it from a different angle. So I wonder if the judgment is less about what you've been writing off and what you should be paying attention to. Because the Ace of Pentacles is, at least the way that this deck interprets it, is immersing yourself in physical sensory experiences. They like basically just describe like taking care of yourself and, you know, really just living your life, because you're the only one that can do it. You can find the key to your problem by, again, taking more of like the thoughts out of it and just allowing yourself to exist. So if that's like creating something with your hands that makes you feel physically present, or if it's you know, a certain tea or food or something that like you is sensory, that will allow you to see this path that you are supposed to be taking. The outcome is the Wheel of Fortune, which is actually nothing solid. Like the Wheel of Fortune is all about like the ups and downs of life, the way that like the cycles of time and how things will inevitably always change. So with the Major Arcana here, this is usually saying that like there is very big transformative stuff going on with you mentally, emotionally, which makes sense. You're coming up across you're about to turn 23, or are you already 23?
23 in June.
23 in June. Yeah, no, that is going to be I don't know if you like follow astrology at all, but that will be your 12th house perfection year, which is usually the year of like subconscious things coming out, hidden things coming out.
Okay.
So yeah, super fun, right? Because they're major arcanas, they are a lot more general. Do they make sense at all? Is there anything that like you need more clarification on when it comes to these guys in the middle here?
I mean, I started going to like therapy and like really taking my mental health seriously and stuff, so I definitely feel like this was maybe like 2020, 2021, where there was a lot of stuff I didn't even want to get into, but it was all coming to like hitting rock bottom and like needing to talk about it out of necessity for like my own well-being. Right. So I think like now I'm trying to come out of that and I guess gain new perspective, and my therapist has definitely helped in gaining a new perspective. So,
you know, let's say like you're feeling something that is conflicting, or you're dealing with something that is kind of triggering for you, finding ways to ground yourself in reality and in your body now, and to make your like to bring this sense of peace, because you know when your body's at peace, it's a lot easier to deal with stuff that's difficult mentally, emotionally. So you know, making yourself feel safe, if that's like putting on really warm, soft clothing, you're making your body feel okay, so that way like you can deal with the emotional, spiritual, mental kind of shit that you have to go through. There is no rush for this kind of timeline. Like this is like a day-to-day thing.
Okay.
With the Wheel of Fortune, anything that's supposed to happen will happen. It's all about like surrendering to these cycles of life and the way that time is what it is, no matter what we want it to be or what we're waiting for. Like we all are subject to that thing. Okay. All right, to the juice. To the juice.
Cool.
We're really getting into it here. This your current state. Maybe you're looking around like, when is somebody gonna make me feel something? Or maybe you already, I don't know if you've already met somebody that makes you feel something, because the Page of Cups is, usually when I see that, I'm like, okay, like our interest is piqued. Maybe we're a little intrigued. Maybe we want to know what's on the other side. You know, like maybe I want to take a step into this like scary unknown territory, see how it makes me feel. And then your obstacles, again, like I said, this is you. We have the Two of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Okay. You have people that want you. There are, hello? Hello?
Where though?
They are there. They are there.
Do you see the point?
Do you see the point? They are there, but you see the point? This is Julia.
Yeah.
That's Julia.
I can't see
Up late, in her bed, crying.
Yep.
Why? She's like, I don't know. Why am I not meeting this person? Or like, why can't I experience this thing? Girl, it's because you don't want to. Let's be real.
Oh my god.
Let's be real. It's time to be real, guys.
Okay.
Because what's the advice? The lovers. Figure out what the fuck you want.
Okay.
Figure out what you want so you can ask for it and you can find it and you can filter out the bullshit. The lovers is making a choice. Listen, if you want it, you can have it. If you don't want it, that's okay. Just, you don't want it. But don't ask yourself, why isn't it happening? Because it's like, you're not open to it. You know, beggars, or what is it, closed mouths don't get fed, or whatever that saying is. That's what this is telling you right here. The Two of Cups, there is plenty of opportunity. You meet people day to day, or like, you know, there are ample opportunities for you to, where you connect with another person. There's that flow, there's this thing going on, will they, won't they? And then you're like, I don't see it. I can't read. And that's why we're nervous about it. That's why we're overthinking. That's why we're like, what's going on? We're so confused. We don't know what's going on. It's keeping us up at night. We're so, Girl, this is self-made. This is self-made problems.
Self-sabotage?
Yes, absolutely. We are letting our fears take control, and for what? For what? They're doing us no good. It's literally all anxiety. Like the Nine of Swords, it's not saying that you're making it up. It's not what I'm saying. Okay, we have valid reasons. We have more than valid reasons. But it's like, there comes a point where you can think too much. There is such a thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not this, like, fucking psycho that, like, is unlovable, you know? Like, it is literally just figuring out what it is that you want. So, I honestly think that the Lovers is a very honest card. It's getting real. Like, you figure out who you, like, I'm sure you already know who you are, and you have a pretty good idea of, like, you don't always necessarily need to experience something to know whether that's something you want or you don't want. Like, I'm sure you have a rough idea of like how somebody acts when they love you, and how somebody like talks to you when they're interested in you, and like the kind of effort that they put forth. Like, I'm sure you have like a rough idea of what these things look like. If you really get serious about it and you ask yourself, like, okay, I'm gonna make a list of all the things that a partner that I want, that somebody that can make me happy has. And then you list things like they're kind, they're, you know, intelligent, they're driven, whatever, like creative, whatever it is that you want. I'm telling you, when you list those things down, you'll get what it is that you want. You keep following the path that it is you're on now, and it is going to be nothing but conflict. It is going to be like, I wonder if this is emotional unavailability.
Okay. Oh shit.
Because this Five of Swords feels like I'm pushing people away. Look at that. That is I'm pushing people away. Where?
I think they see it. I see it for sure.
I'm pushing people away because I'm like, oh my god, I'm so safe. Look at me with all my swords. And meanwhile, all these people are hurt.
Dude,
they're salty.
Oh,
that focus.
That was fucking good. The spirits are fucking good.
It's insane. You keep going on the path you're going on, and it's
lonely.
It is. It's
okay.
Like it's sure you're safe. Sure, you have all these defense mechanisms, and you have, like, you know, you're like, oh, you know, that was like almost more like you're like finding problems with people, and you're like, oh, see, like that's why I can never work with that person. When it's like everybody's a little flawed in their own way, you know, like you can never, there is no such thing as a perfect person, but it's like you're like, oh no, I'm totally good because I'm safe. Like I'm look at all these weapons and like all, like, look at the defenses I have. Like I'm good. My walls are big, my walls are strong, and they're impenetrable. Nobody can get past them. But it's like these are people that could mean you nothing but, you know, well intentions. Like they mean nothing but good for you. And you know, it's easy to just like write people off and to be like, well, like, you know, if it didn't happen right away, like it's not meant to be. But it's okay if they're not what you want, but it's almost like figure out what it is that you want. That way, like, you do actually have valid reasons to write off these people instead of just like, you know, like nitpicky, almost like I'm like looking for a reason to be like, no, that's not what I want, that's not what I need, that's not gonna work, whatever.
Like ending it before it has a chance to
start. Exactly. Like just literally being like, no, I'm not having it, and like fighting it. But for why?
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
That last row, I was speaking a fucking language. Like
no, as soon as I saw it come out, I said, oh girl, I knew that middle one would be trouble. Did this guy make sense? These guys make sense?
Yeah,
for you?
yeah.
Is there any clarifications you may need?
I mean, maybe just for like shits and giggles, maybe like if I do end up with somebody, maybe more about them specifically.
Yeah, we'll leave these guys out.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I mean, their zodiac sign. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's actually, it's like just like hate sex all the time.
Well, we got Ace of Wands at the bottom. I think they will be really good in bed.
That's what I know. I know about the Ace of Wands and tarot for romance. Okay, I know about that.
I'm coming.
I just maybe just a little bit.
Okay.
Generally speaking, I think that this is somebody that has been through some shit. Somebody who has not necessarily trust issues, and I think a very important thing to note is they have been through like betrayal, or there's something where like people have really hurt this person deeply, but they're not bitter, they're not hard, like somehow they still stay soft throughout their life experiences. Like somehow they still find a way to be loving and to be kind and compassionate.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't think that this person is bitter at all over the things that have happened to them. They're not. It's not necessarily bitter as much as it is like, okay, well, I've learned from that situation. Like this is a very emotionally mature person, I would think. At least when it comes to like, you know, their past. Like, so you don't have to worry about somebody that's like coming to you and, you know, is really mean or insecure or jealous or passive aggressive because of shit that they've dealt with before, you know, basically shit that isn't your fault. Mm-hmm. I do think that this is a very patient person with this Page of Swords here. I think that this is somebody that is not quick to rush into things, is not quick to, you know, make rash decisions. I think that this is somebody that really considers the possibilities of, you know, certain actions that they make, the possible consequences that or consequences or rewards from their decisions. So that is, you know, usually really cool quality. I also think this is somebody that is an optimist. When life gives you lemons, it is that kind of person where they're like,
okay,
I make lemonade, you know, yeah. Even if it's a little corny and annoying, like it's kind of endearing for them. Like it is a nice perspective to have when you're like a very realistic person, a very like, no, I know what this means. Like for somebody to be like, no, it could still be good. Like that is sometimes nice to have.
Yeah.
And then I think that this could be somebody that like is that way because deep down they are generally kind of anxious, sensitive to the changes around them, or like really overthinks about decisions they make, or the like the kind of person where like they'll have a conversation with somebody and then like for like the next few days they're like, oh my god, did I say like this stupid thing, or like, oh my god, like did I. So usually I think that like that is very, again with these other cards we have, I think that it's very sweet on them. It's not necessarily like, oh my god, that's like such a red flag or anything. It's like just, I think that this is somebody that like is genuinely a good person, does really care about the impact they have on others, and then doesn't, like I said, is not very like hardened from the things that they're like, very patient, very understanding, very self-aware, and, you know, not a stranger to like actually actively healing through things and not just being like going through something and putting it, you know, in the dark room of their mind and locking it up and never looking at it again. Like, generally a pretty cool person. So I mean, if you meet them,
Pretty cool. Don't shut them out.
yeah, definitely don't.
Don't say, where are they? All right, cool.
You're like, where are you?
Thank
Where
you.
are you? And they're in front of your face, just looking at you. Hello.
I'd say that's
That's
pretty
awesome.
That's
That's
spot on.
sick.
And like the
I love-
clusterfuck of the mental state, that's also very spot on. Of like, I'm confused, but maybe I get it.
I'm not worried, and that there's nothing that I saw where I'm like, oh, you're gonna be dealing with something. Like, it is all, and with the fact that the mental one, it was at the very end with the outcome with the Wheel of Fortune. These rows were like, if nothing changes, if nothing were to change, if you were to not make any like conscious, you know, changes to the way that you operated, like the Wheel of Fortune, it's not good news or bad news, which is, it makes me feel like even if it does take you some time to figure out like what it is that you're going through in like this transitional period, like you're still gonna figure it out at the end of the day. Like, time really is a sure way to know that like something has been dealt with or understood. I think you'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're not gonna die tomorrow.
That's awesome. Good to
Hopefully.
know.
Watch her.
Oh, yeah.